Okay, guys, good morning to all of you. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. All right, apology for starting it late this morning. Having some problem with Zoom this morning. All right, seems like there's some difficulty to connect Zoom with Facebook this morning. All right, but now seems to be okay. Let's start our morning MAO right now. Just give a moment. Let me just put this to my share this to other groups on, yeah. Okay, Jasmine, doing favor, everybody, quickly send this to your friends right now, the link, and let them enjoy today's MAO, because today there's a lot of things to share with you, all right? Now, initially, it's supposed to be a short MAO. Then after that, I just think through about it and say that maybe I should really put more effort to, share this more stuff with you. So if you want, quickly now contact, just get your friends in and then let them come in and then feel what's going on right now, okay? Okay. All right. Quickly like and share with your friends. Let them know that there is this guy sharing this MAO right now with you guys. And this is market analysis and outlook. And today's is going to be a special sharing session because I'm going to go a lot of fundamental stuff to go through with you. So quickly like and share and get more people to come in. Now, I'm not a YouTuber, as you know, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to profit from you other than for my costs. Okay, so without further ado, let's start today's MAO right now. Just give me a minute. Let me just take a short, quick picture. Okay, all right. Good morning to you, Daniel, Dennis, and Johnny. Good morning to all of you. Let's start our morning MAO right now. Okay, today is the 25th of July, Monday. All right, now this week is the most important week for the entire summer period because you're going to have a lot of economic figures. You're going to have FOMC meeting. You're going to have the biggest tech companies' earnings on Tuesday and Thursday. So this is why this week is going to be the one that either will drive the market to a new high compared to last 2 months, or we're going to have a great sell-off that probably would freak out a lot of people. Okay, so this week is going to be a very critical week. And write it down there, okay? This week is going to be very critical. Okay, very critical. The market is going to move definitely quite substantial. All right, so traders, you have to be very careful on this. Okay, you have to be very, very careful on this. All right, so first of all, let's just talk about this right now. Number one thing is this. Okay, there's something that happened over the week. As you know right now, right, probably from my caption, you probably have seen it. Right, Jimmy Lin. All right, Jimmy Lin. All right, some of you may know this guy. All right. This Lin Accident. All right, Lin Accident is one of the young, never grow old guy. He's older than me, but he looks much younger than me, obviously, right? Okay, so Lin Accident apparently crashed his car. Now, of course, I mean, to have accident is every driver's nightmare, but obviously we don't want things to happen. But unfortunately, this time around, things get a little bit interesting. Okay, very suspicious. Why? Because apparently Lin Accident, right? He is actually a professional driver. I mean, he do compete, okay, professionally. So I mean, his driving skill must be there. And I watched a video when how the car crashed into the pole. I mean, the speed was there, but it's not like so crazy speed. And it's very funny. And the way is that the car was like actually moving towards a certain direction, suddenly just skid off and went towards the pole instead. And unfortunately, it's all right. His son was inside it, and his son was only 6 years old. So this whole thing is now get into a lot of concern because this car is a Tesla car. This is the problem here itself. So I'll come to this very, very shortly. But again, end of the day is this, guys. I'm not against Tesla. I told you I like Tesla. I like Elon Musk in a certain way. So we will not want to dwell too much into the brand, but it's what happened during that whole event. Okay. So that's why you had behind me get this fire burning on Tesla. And of course, we now have some cases of monkeypox. So apparently now monkeypox is the next thing. Now we covered monkeypox about 2 months ago, and we were very, very early. Rarely we will share this with you. And of course, people say that this is nothing to be real concern. Yeah, indeed, it wasn't real concern until recently now from WHO, they themselves say that, you know what, there could be another pandemic on the way, and this time around is actually this monkeypox. So this is something, another concern that we'll talk about that. And of course, food prices is still going upwards, all right? Although there seems to be some inflation peaking sign, but food prices are still climbing up. And of course, when food price goes higher, so it actually causes a lot of unhappiness, and this may actually cause a bit more riot. Apparently, recently, over the last few days, there were many places having riots, okay? Many places in Europe especially, and this is not a good sign. And last but not least, we have the slap in the face once again by Joe Biden. Now, Biden a year ago says that as long as you have the 4 vaccination jab, you should be fine. But of course, Joe Biden himself got COVID instead. Okay, so it's a bit of slap in the face, but of course, again, he's already at his 80s. So of course, getting this, and he meets so many people, shaking hands with a lot of people. To get COVID is nothing unexpected, all right? But of course, with his age right now and being the most important person in the White House, right? It's kind of like it's scary though, because we do know that there's a lot of side effect on COVID, and we really don't want him to be going near the buttons here. Okay, so now will Jimmy Lin Tesla accident be a market catalyst? It is possible if the market decide to use it. Okay, so we'll talk about this shortly. All right, and let's just now go into this right now. Disclaimer apply as usual. Once again, we'd like to thank Ames for supporting us, being one of the business associate and sponsoring in our event. Thank you, Ames, once again. Right, disclaimer apply as usual, guys. As a trader, as an investor, you must do a lot of risk management. You have to protect your own risk. No one is able to help you in this area if you don't want to take care of it yourself, okay? So you must know what you should do, all right? Good morning to you, Nelson. All right. Okay, so with all these things have already mentioned and settled, let's just look at this thing here itself. Now, we do know that there is a MIT study back then, yeah, confirming that Tesla autopilot is indeed unsafe. Now, this is not from me. I captured this from internet. I saw the article, but I cannot verify this. So do your own verification, okay? I don't get inside the lawsuit for nothing, okay? So anyway, the point is this, there's some study. Now, autopilot, obviously, we do know that, okay, it is safe relatively, but there will be time whereby you have some problem. It's just like, you know, our handphone providers, internet providers. Now, most of the time, they are working fine. But there'll be time and days whereby you kaput, right? And then after that, it may go all haywire, and then we get into some discomfort or inconvenience. So if you're telling me now to sit in a car and let the car drive by itself, I'll be honest with you, I'll be absolutely honest with you, unless it's really for good reason. Example, I really need to do something, or I really think that I can really believe in it. If not, I can guarantee you myself, I will still prefer to drive. Because at least when things go wrong, it's my fault. But if you're going to leave it to a computer, a software to run certain thing like this right now, I mean, I'm going to be upfront with you, I am not very comfortable at all. So of course, this is now a big issue ongoing right now. Because let's just take a look at this whole thing here. All right. So apparently, Jimmy Lin Tesla burst into flames after crashing into a signpost, okay? And the 6-year-old son were in a car when the accident happened, the twins, all right, one of them. Now, what is scary is when I saw the video, I mean, I had a video, but I don't think it's nice to show it right here. It's almost like when a car crashes into a signpost, we all know that. Even I myself had my own car crash long time ago. The most is that the car just stop there, stall there, and that's it. You just walk out, wait for the tow truck to come, and that's the end. But very fortunately, apparently, when Jimmy Lin's car hit the signpost, right, the impact was strong, and obviously, is that right? Jimmy Lin was not in the right. He is not in the right position to bring his child out. In fact, he was quite hurt. So fortunately, there was some passerby who quickly stopped the car and quickly pulled both driver and the child out. And you know what happened after that? The car burst into fire. Really, no kidding, right? So you can see from the Monsac picture, Jimmy Lin's face was reportedly covered in blood, and his arm was definitely dislocated. You can see it's been a bang. I mean, it's in an awkward shape, and definitely itself, right? It don't look good. Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to explain to you here itself is the following part of the thing that people talk about on internet. So you must understand, back then itself, right? Jimmy Lin also had an accident. Okay, back in 2014, Jimmy Lin also had an accident. Yeah, see how deep we dig, right? Okay, so what happened is this. He has that car was an Audi, if I'm not wrong. All right, he has an accident, but you can see that it just hit and then just get dented, and that's it. That is all it happened. All right, there was some bruises and there, but definitely it's all right. It's not as bad. Now you compare now with this one here itself. Oh my God, this is really very bad. You can see that the whole thing is all right, get burned pretty badly after that. The aftermath is quite scary. So the question comes in as well, right? Why would an accident of such a impact causes one have no fire and one have great fire? And of course, if there was nobody around, seriously, Jimmy Lin may hit misfortune. Yeah. So this is actually what is ongoing right now on internet, and everybody's asking for what happened. So there was something that some people brought it up, and I want to share this with you in case you didn't know. Now, I'm not an expert with cars. I never really love cars in a way, but still, I must share this with you, all right? Now, one thing is this. Inside the electric vehicle, all right, there's this thing called lithium, as you know, right? Powered by lithium. So lithium itself is very combustible, all right? Whenever it actually sparks, and even you put lithium into water, right, it will fizz. So imagine when it hit with air, things will get into a very incredible state. And of course, if you don't know how lithium looks like, this is how lithium looks like, the lithium crystal. So apparently, this is the main one thing that actually is inside the component of the engine that runs the car. So because of that, right, when things happen, unfortunately like this, it gets combustible rather easily. And because Tesla, as you know, they have this very unique way of how they lock the door. So it luckily and fortunately itself, right, when the thing happened, the people when to save him couldn't find the way to unlock the door. But maybe probably this Jimmy knows what's happening. He managed to unlock it inside, and then they managed to get the child out and both him. All right. But we also know that, right, there was a case recently whereby there was another driver in America. Unfortunately, his car door was not open, or the safety belt was not able to unlock by itself, and then very sad case, it was a fatal accident whereby the fire consumed the victim. So what I'm trying to say is this, there's a lot of solid stuff to make the car damn looks good and very futuristic, but also on the flip side itself, right, when things happen, when an accident happen, right, the safety mechanism may kick in and then it may cause a bit of problem. So what I did was I dig a little bit more, and I realized that, right, you can see that usually it's right, when this certain car, Tesla, hits, right, it catches fire, and it's not like one model, not two model, but it's across it. And of course, this is how eventually the cars will look like. And obviously, one of the things that's very clear is the autopilot is always a question mark. The auto locking system that killed the Tesla driver, remember the one I just said? And of course, the autopilot is usually the one to be partly blamed for this. But you can see that the fire itself is really no joke. You can see that the Tesla car will burn into flames, and the other car just knocked there, and that's it. All right, so I'm not saying that anything else, please do not quote me on anything, but I'm just telling you that this is the likely potential problem when it comes to EVs because of the way it's being structured. All right, so I really hope that Jimmy is fine. I really hope he's fine, and I really think that, right, the little boy must be shaken. It may take some time for him to go back on the car again, but I just it's thankful that there's a passerby that was around it and they saved the day. So good job done for human mankind, but maybe for EV itself, right, we may need to look at it again very, very closely. Okay, So that is for Jimmy Lin. So did it affect Tesla cars? Nope, it did not. In fact, the stock market on Tesla on Friday was still okay. So two things here is one, maybe the market, because Jimmy Lim is still on the Asian side, so it doesn't have big impact to European and the US side, so market don't really bother. Two, again, he's a professional driver. Someone actually says that maybe he has changed something in his car, so it's a question mark here. But of course, if let's say it's really the autopilot is an issue, and that unfortunately, causes this itself, then we have a problem. Then that will have a spillover effect on it, and that might bring Tesla down a little bit. Okay, because you must understand, Tesla has two main factories, one in Germany, one in China, and of course, Lin Zhiying, which is Jimmy Lin, he is quite popular in China. So if let's say really it's because it's autopilot issue, that will actually hit the sales in China, and of course that will create even more problem for Tesla on its own. So this is waiting to be confirmed. We won't know what's going on, but this time around it might be a catalyst, so traders just have to watch this very, very closely. Okay, all right, so now this is the second quarter earnings season, and we already started it, and we have most of the companies doing pretty well. But I say this week is going to be a big one. For this week, traders must really, really watch it. Now, this week itself, right, today before market open, we have Philip is going to have their earnings. Now, after that, there are many of them, but not very big ones. But tomorrow, before market open, you have UPS, you have Coca-Cola, McDonald's, GE, all these big companies. But what is the one that everybody will be focusing on will be Alphabet, Microsoft, and Visa. Now, this will be after market close on Tuesday. Now, what is very critical is that we do know Alphabet and Microsoft might be producing not that fantastic numbers. And of course, that will hit Apple very important. Now, Apple, as you know, is already expressing some concern. The last quarter, they did not show they didn't give their potential forward earnings. All right, and of course, there are some ongoing things that, right, Apple may not do that well. And as you know, Apple holds a very strong weightage. It's a number kingpin counter in S&P 500 and NASDAQ. Hence, therefore, if Apple don't do well, then naturally, the whole index will come down. So that's why Alphabet, Microsoft data is going to be crucial. Now, of course, on Wednesday, we have Shopify, we have Boeing, we have Spotify. All these, again, will also be looking very closely. And of course, after market close, Meta and Ford will be coming out next. So you can see very, very clearly that we're going to have a very, very big week, this one. And of course, on Friday, we have ExxonMobil, Chevron coming in. So in short, guys, this week is going to be a big week, very big week for all of us. These earnings will either make or break the market. So if the earnings are good, the stock market will go even higher than what we have right now. But if the earnings are not good or the forward guidance are not good, then we would have some selling in the market. So that's why I keep telling you this, guys. This week is going to be a very, very important week. So traders, you really need to watch this very closely, okay? This is going to be a very, very important week. Traders, kindly take note of that, okay? Thank you very much, okay? All right, once again, guys, good morning to all of you who just joined us today. We're going to have a lot of fundamentals to share you today. So stay tuned, all right? All right, stay tuned, yeah? Okay. All right, now this is what I shared with you last week. Now, last week during the during the MAO on Friday, I tell you about the S&P 500 verdict, all right? I've been telling you this. I say that first of all, if we look at the S&P 500 back at the high in January all the way down to July, we see a very interesting downside formation. And I mentioned to you that if everything goes according to plan, the S&P 500 may be going to 4090. But I said that the critical point is 3982. And I said this, if the S&P 500 cannot close above 3982, then there is a chance for the market to pull back to 3857. Now, this is what I shared with you, remember? All right, I give you this verdict and I tell you what you look out for. And not too bad, it's all about 500 people have already saw it. So let's take a look of the update. Now, this is the updated chart this morning. As you can see very clearly that the S&P 500 really now seemingly is resisted at the market. All right, the S&P 500 now seemingly is resisted, okay? It's resisted at this 39.82 level. So now as of what I screenshot this morning is at 39.52. So take note of here, everybody. Take note of that. If the S&P 500 is to continue to slide lower, there is a chance that S&P 500 may pull back down again to the 38.55 level. And that is the, again, that will be the bear territory 80% mark. Now, from January, it came all the way down to June and it went below, and that created the bear territory. Then after that, after some days of struggle, it managed to climb back above the 80% mark. And that's the reason why a lot of traders, investors, gurus, experts were calling for the market to be bottoming out. But the fundamental has not changed. The technical itself, right, is still at the downside. So I beg to differ. So when I see this itself, right, I'd like to just share with everybody, 38.55 is a very critical level because that is the 80% mark again. And if the market can stay above 38.55, yes, the market will naturally rebound. Yeah, the market will rebound. But if the market fails to stay above 38.55, then the market will resume the bear territory selling. And that is whereby we need to be very careful. So of course, we're not very far away. So that's why I keep on reminding traders to take some profit off the table. We're only 100 points away. If the market really comes below 38.55, it will go back to the bear territory and that will freak out some traders once again. So traders, kindly take note of that. Yeah. Okay. So take note. Yeah. Okay, so that is the bear territory number. Please take note number 38.55. This is going to be very important. Okay, all right, get your friends to come in and join us for today's MAO. All right, there's a lot of information coming up very soon on fundamental side. Okay, now of course, today as a special thing to share you right now. Now today, someone actually asked me, is today an Omega day? And the answer is a yes. Today, S&P 500 is actually an Omega day. What's Omega? Omega means that today's the opening price and the day high or day low is the same price. So in this case, today, the opening price and the day high is exactly the same price. How do you see that? See on top left corner, 39.64.6. That's the opening price, and the day high, 39.64.6. So which means that we have a Omega day at the moment right now. So what does Omega means? Omega means that, right, if the market opening and day high are the same, then most likely the market will see some selling pressure today. All right, so based on my indicator right now, you can see there's an Omega signal, yeah, automatically, and that's why we all know that. So because of this, I will say this up front, we need to be careful. If the market really breaks Friday's low, then we should see some selling, and the selling itself will likely bring it down to 38.55. Now, I don't think it will happen in a single day. It may take a few days, but if the market breaks the previous day low, then 38.55 is just a matter of days. Maybe it may take about 2-3 days for it to reach there. So at least this is something that I can be sure to share with you right now. Yep. Okay. All right, let's continue. All right, now this is very interesting. All right, apparently now, right, things are getting better, apparently. So now the fear and greed index now is at 39. Oh, okay. So it was at the low was at 6. So remember, it was at low at 6. That was where the market was a very good buy at 29,600 area. And then after that, now it's 39. The Dow is about 32,000. So that's why you see that's very important. When everybody is fearful, you need to be greedy. When everybody is greedy or not so fearful, right, then it's time for you to, you should consider to be careful. All right, just be very careful on this. Okay. All right. All right, so the thing is this, you look at the chart right now, kind of clear that we should be careful. There could be some resistance right now. Okay? So that's the reason why I tell traders, please take profit from the market. All right, I've been saying this repeatedly to many people. I said that it's good to take profit. Okay, I'm gonna write it out again and again for everybody's sake itself. All right, today is the 25th of July. Okay, it will be good to book some long positions profits right now. Okay, so because We don't want you to be hanging on a position and then after that don't take profit, because if you don't take profit, the market, although the position is still there, then you are not actually, capitalizing on it. Of course, some people say, Cal, but what if the market go up again and you miss a run? You can take partial, guys. You can take partial, make some money, and then move on. Then if the market really goes higher, then you can buy again. It's about making that money and keeping it and putting in a bank account. When the money is in a bank account, that is real profit, okay? All right, so now this is where it gets very scary. Let's take a look now. This is the US economic figures for this week, yeah? Now, first of all, we have our consumer confidence. Now, the confidence level is actually expected to be lower. Now, previously it's 98.7, and now we are looking at a lower number, 97.3. And if you look carefully, since January this year, the numbers have been steadily going down. This is not good. When consumer sentiment is not there, it's all right. You don't expect the economy to be any better. And it's very clear that we are not doing that well collectively. So that is why I said that there's something wrong with this US economy that we have to be very careful about. Okay, that one is due tomorrow. Now, what is scary is this. Look at the numbers here on Wednesday. Now, we are expecting the pending home sales to drop, and not only drop, it's a drop to a negative sign. This is actually quite scary. Now, it was 0.7% last month, and now they're looking at a lower number, and this time around a negative number. So again, this is going to create a bit of question mark everywhere. Now, of course, on the positive side, they say that, oh, because now it's lowering, hence, therefore, the activity is reduced, and that's what Federal Reserve want, meaning that inflation will reduce. Okay. If you look at it from that point of view, you are not wrong to say that there could be a chance that the market is recovering or inflation is going to go down, because when you have lower activity in business, you do have inflation going down. Okay, fair enough. So on Thursday, which is Thursday morning, Singapore time, yeah? On Thursday morning, we have at 2 a.m. we have this FOMC statement and decision. Now, do note, you can see the numbering jump itself. Everybody is looking at the 75 basis point. Now, someone did ask me, Kel, would that be a 50 basis point? It's impossible. 75 basis point is 100% in my books itself. I'm very, very certain to tell you that it will be a 35 basis point. The only scary part is that if you see the first number, it's not 7, but 1. Oh, that will be the really stunner. If actually, right, if Federal Reserve really come out with a 1 in front, 100, the whole market will freak out. So I don't think it will happen, because the chance of happening is only 20% according to Fed fund rates. And I don't think that Federal Reserve will now do this such silly thing, because you know why? They don't even dare to reduce their balance sheet. So if mention this, they're supposed to reduce their balance sheet, but yet they don't do it. I'm so sorry, there's no way it'll be 100 basis point. 75 basis point, very sure. So of course, after that, right, he will come in to talk about what is his rate hike and stuff like that. Now, do note, in this FOMC, right, they will not talk about the US global economic growth in this particular meeting. They'll talk about the interest rate environment, but they will not talk about that. So you will notice that this time the press conference itself, right, the lot of key question that you want to ask will not be questioned, because there is this guideline here. Okay, and of course, after that, at night, we have the initial jobless claim, and we expect the initial jobless claim to continue to go higher. So again, that also tells you that there's something not very right that's ongoing right now in the US economy. Something is definitely wrong. And of course, on Friday, we have the CPI, the PCE data, and the PCE data, which is the one that Federal Reserve use, is expected to be higher. So again, another big concern. All right, so you can see that this week is quite of a scary week. Now, if you are not keen to participate on this, my personal advice is take profit and go. That will make your life much, much easier, okay? But if you really want to hang around and go through the up and down, then just make sure that you know what you're doing, yeah? Okay, anyway, my job is to share with you. Your job is to make your own deal, okay? You go and do your own deal. You make your final decision, okay? That's my view here as well, okay? All right, so take note of all these data that's going to come out this week. You won't want to don't know what's going on, and then after that you should say, how come why prices go up, why it goes down, and you don't know what's going on. Okay, so let's look at what happened on the US side on a CNBC correspondent. Now, S&P 500 shed nearly 1% on Friday on this snap. Now, snap definitely led the selling on Friday, down by more than 30%, a bit crazy though. But again, this is how market works. All right, so apparently because of the Dow Jones loss about 0.43%, S&P down by 0.93%, all right, that created some selling. Now, reason why the S&P down that much because the Nasdaq is down by 1.8%. So Nasdaq down by 1.8%. That if you amalgamate between this Dow Jones and this Nasdaq, right? Yeah, that's the reason why S&P is down by 0.93%. Okay, so of course it cuts into the weekly gain, but still overall the Dow is up by 2%, S&P up by 2.6%, and of course Nasdaq up by 3.3%. So if not for this 1.7, the Nasdaq will be up by 5% in a single week itself. That's a lot, right? In such an incredible environment. Okay, so the earning from Snap is the one that bring the market down. Apparently, someone need to be blamed, right? So Snap earning was pretty bad. We all know that and expected, but it's so bad until that the market really bring it down. So apparently, a lot of house actually gave a $10 or $9 target, and of course, very, very fast after the news, the market already went down below $10. Okay, so the thing is this: how come? All right, I mean, does it really deserve a 30% drop? Well, all I can tell you this. When the market want to sell, no one to say anything. So at this counter now, Snap is, although the earnings are not fantastic, the revenue, the number of people is there, but because they fail to monetize their marketing, so that's why in terms of expectation wasn't there, and that's why the market sell it down. All right, so this is all the little thing that you can get from Wall Street. But to me, the main thing is this now is still the PMI composite thing itself. That's the main thing. Now we need to really watch out this data. And of course, the S&P 500 has touches a 4,000 level. And of course, if it doesn't go beyond 4,000, it becomes a psychological barrier and resistant. Now, this thing is, I want to take everybody, I want you to take a look right now, okay? Now, the Dow initially was up first, okay? Initially, okay, what happened? Take a note, huh? Because American Express says that their earnings are okay, because there's a 1.9% better than expectation. Now, because there's record consumer spending in areas like travel and entertainment. Wait a minute. Now, record consumer spending is good, but when you spend and you swipe your card like American Express, hey, what you're trying to tell me? It's actually meaning that people are now actually probably overwhelmed with the cost right now. They need to use a credit card. So if they will use a credit card to go and spend as a record spending using credit card, what does it tell you? So you see my point. One side of it, right, is pretty good because it seems that it's actually good for the company like American Express. But on a flip note itself, right, that means a lot of people now are spending on credit. And I did show you last month that actually the number of people spending on credit is way much higher than even before the pandemic time. So this is actually not a good sign. But of course, Wall Street will use it in their way as long as talking about American Express is a good deal for them. You understand my point? So you have to watch this very closely, yeah? All right, so let's look at some local and global news right now to chit-chat what's have happened. It's a quick one here. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, WHO declares a rapidly spreading monkeypox outbreak a global health emergency. So it coming from WHO, so of course there's some worry and concern. Now, will this be another black swan? I don't buy it because first of all, this monkeypox is really nothing that crazy or not so scary. And of course, that's how I just saw our own health minister says that, right, we don't need to do a mass vaccination for this. It's a concern, but it's not a scary thing. So I don't think this is the problem. Right now, ECB, of course, stunned the whole world by giving a 50 basis point. Now, it's not difficult to have ECB doing this because already this Federal Reserve have already increased it by 1.5 basis points since the start of April until now. So what is so unexpected? So to me, this 50 basis point is really broadly well received, and even they do another 50 basis point is still part of it. So I don't see why is there a big concern for this right now. So I don't think so. Now, definitely, when you have all these things, the 10-year yield was slight, and because of that, right, there is actually now ongoing this inversion happening. Now, the thing is this, whether like it or not, right, it's a economic 101. When you have inversion on the yields, that means the recession is on the way. Because now people are getting worried. People are not comfortable to, loan the money for short term. I mean, long term. People rather do it for short term. So that's why now the short term rates yield is higher than long term. Now, usually long term yield is higher than the short term yield. But when it inverse, right, that means that people are getting concerned. So with all these reasons, it's all right. I told you fine that the only thing I can think of is actually the one that we sacrificed for this time round might be the European side, which I expect the Europe currency to drop further. And of course, the property price will go down further, and the stock market will also go down together at the same time. And that's what I feel. Now, Joe Biden likely has a BA.5 variant, but seemingly he's recovering. He seems to be okay. So don't worry. His primary symptom are sore throat, loose cough, and body aches. Okay, so body aches. We all know that. I went through COVID myself. I know that the body is really, really sickening. Okay, let's hope that he just stay cool, stay safe, and don't press any buttons, okay? All right. Now, Russia slashes key interest rate by 150 basis points. That is a shock move, but it's not unexpected because you must understand, Russia is doing well. Ever since this thing happened, right, the whole world condemned Russia. I told you guys Russia will benefit. And now Russia, right, raised interest rate to 20% in February after the invasion, right? But now it's back down to 9.5. Oh my God, this is fast, man. So from 20%, boom, 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 came back down to 9.5%. That is pretty good. And of course, now Russia is actually quite rewarded. There are some unconfirmed reports saying that Russia is making $100 million every day by selling crude oil. And this is really good because now they are selling their own resources and making their own money, and no one really bothered. So isn't that a win-win situation? So there are more now analysts are saying that it may go down to 7% or 15.5. I'm quite confident that it will go down further. Yeah, there's no need to do that. So once again, you see, the country that is supposed to be condemned is now doing better than the country who is condemning. Okay. All right. Now, China's Xinjiang, right, warns of flood cotton risk amid sizzling heat wave. Now, the heat wave is definitely spreading across the whole world. And China's Xinjiang is one of the places whereby they really dependent on agriculture. And now the heat waves and the mudslides are now hitting it. And obviously now the cotton production will definitely be affected. And because of that, maybe your cotton prices will go up again. And this is why it's happening right now. Of course, you can see the mainstream media don't mind talking about Xinjiang because this is the one that, they are always saying that the place whereby there's a lot of inhumane treatment is there. So I'll leave it there for you to decide. Now, this is where it gets very scary. You see Google, yeah? Google fires its software engineer who claims its AI chatbot is sentient. So which means that, right, we're talking about a robot who is self-aware. Oh my goodness, okay? Now imagine when a robot is self-aware, that means that it has emotion. And when emotion, it will have intelligence that is of a human level. And because of that, right, we may have a problem. All right, so you can see over here is all right. Google dismissed a senior software engineer who claims the company artificial intelligence AI chatbot Lambda was a self-aware person. Now, I watched the Lambda video and I tell you this, oh my goodness, I tell you, if you didn't know that if you read the conversation between a human being and Lambda, this chatbot, right, I can guarantee you would thought that that person is a very smart person, real person, with emotions and everything. I tell you this, it's really incredible. The way the chatbot reply is really out of the world. And there's so much emotion used inside itself. And the best part is when this little trial on this chatbot, right, the chatbot actually says that, right, he's actually, he's not robot and he has human emotion inside there. Oh my goodness, this is really very scary. So again, well, will we one day really have this robot ruling the world? All these things itself really highly depending on whether are we going to really allow this happen. So by firing itself, right, actually shows a lot of things, yeah? So you think about it. Last but not least is Apple. Now, Apple is definitely one of the names reporting the season, and usually and typically they will beat their earnings, boost results, and this is what everybody believes. So again, I always tell you this, when everybody believes in something is all right, usually the opposite may actually happen. So I'm going to leave it there, but result has shown that, right, usually when Apple come in to do their earnings, it should be better. So let's take a look at Apple now. Everybody is looking at it to be beating this estimate right now. I believe that Apple might be able to beat estimate because they lowered down the estimate, but I don't think it will be able to satisfy what people expect to happen next. So Apple is scheduled to be on Thursday. The company has beaten the per share 89% of the time and usually top 80%. And after that, the share will up by 1%. Okay. Even if Apple doesn't perform this quarter, some analysts say that it will be a solid stock to own. So in short itself, they're just telling you, even no good, also buy. Okay, even no good, also buy. So let's take a look at this Apple share right now before we move on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kelly has just wrote down there. Lambda should be a great concern of all humanity. It's an AI revolution threatening humanity. Yes, indeed, it's all right. If you actually watch Lambda, that particular video, I tell you, my hair really came out. Really, very incredible. Yeah, go and take a look and search Lambda right now. Yeah. Will it be too late to regulate AI? Well, apparently we are moving towards there. Like it or not itself, we are definitely moving towards AI. This is something we cannot change. Too bad. We move on. Yeah. Okay, let's look at Apple right now. Now, remember, I showed you Apple chart recently, right? I told you about Apple. I told you guys Apple will have a bit of resistance at about $154. And really, it really happened. So now, which means that, right, Apple must stay above $146, okay? Apple has to stay above 146. If Apple fail to stay above 146, then yes, there will be some selling back to 130 again. So I'm going to be very upfront here, guys. Traders, be very careful about this Apple. Now, everybody been looking to buy Apple, but the thing is this, during this rally here, we all know that this Warren Buffett has been buying Apple. So the thing is this, Apple shows upside potential, but 154 will be the first resistance that it has a break. Now on Friday, it did try to stay above 154, but it's still below the 154 high range. So I'll tell you this, 146 must stay. If 146 cannot stay, then there will be selling down to 130 again for Apple. Yeah. So traders, kindly take note of this. This is going to be very important. Okay. Now these numbers I already draw for you before today's MAO. In fact, it was drawn last week. So if you remember that is all right, then you know what am I talking about. Okay, so that is the local and global news for you guys. Hopefully you like that. Let's go into the alternate market news. Now, alternate market news is whereby I'm going to get you more stuff that you can see. It's from mainstream media, mainstream reports, but you don't see on the mainstream media because why? Certain of the content itself, right, it may cause conflict of interest, it may cause confusion, it may cause people to be upset. So I believe that because of that, you know that some of the data, they don't really tell you the truth, okay? So let's take a look for today. What is it meant for us? Okay, let's take a look right now. Now, first of all, remember I told you regarding about the bank stress test. Okay, now we all know that the banks have aced the stress test, right? So what are we talking about then? Okay, the problem is this, that we all know that from the stress test, they can test, the banks have been tested, they can withstand a severe recession, even there is. But as a concerning part is this, the guidance, the criteria, the situation itself, right, is not really a high level. In fact, it's very low level. So to pass the test, it's not too difficult. All right. So the thing is this, the stress test actually now has a bit of problem is that now they're expecting the payout side itself, right, to be increasing. And of course, they're talking about no buyback of shares. So the thing is, when JP Morgan halt share buyback, right, this is not a good sign. Because if really the banks are doing well or they can sustain problem, why would the banks consider to halt share buyback? It doesn't make sense over here. And because of that itself, right, we notice that if they do temporarily do a share halt, that means that, right, there's a chance that there could be some problem lurking around the company. And that's the reason why traders are watching this very closely. And of course, you can see on hindsight right now that there were time and period whereby the buying back actually went negative, meaning they're not supposed to buy at all. Okay, so will that be the starting point that create this? We don't know, right? The other thing is this, as we know that JP Morgan says already that they want to, you know, suspend this and all those reasons. And I told you why they want to do that, because they need to really see what is the best deal for themselves. So Citibank also came in and they also beat their trading revenue, trading estimate, and they did pretty well with their trading revenue, but they also pauses their buyback. So again, another company telling you that is right. This shows that you need to be careful, because they observe a pullback in discretionary spending, including lower income segment with time and dining growing. Now, of course, I told you before earlier, right? If let's say lesser people are available to, you know, get together, then of course that will create a lot more problem. So while we are already having this result, right, we all know that credit card costs and outstanding bills are increasing. So again, when we see this before, we all know that it's just a matter of time the market may actually break. And of course, there are some early warning signs regarding about this already. And seemingly the excess cash itself is burning faster than expected. So all these are coming from Motley Fool, and they are very upfront with their situation right now. And that's why I'm sharing this all with you. So remember, there were some people saying to Jim Cramer, say that there will be a hurricane coming in between this July to August, but is that coming in right now? The hurricane in terms of financial hurricane, yeah? All right, and of course, with the delinquency all increasing and more people borrowing, it's just a matter of time things really get out of hand. And all this information is able to be found on Motley Fool if you want to get this full data. All right, I want to bring you back again to what this Michael Burry said back then one more time to let you show you something very interesting. Now, this is what Michael Burry wrote back then before he deleted away. All right, take a look again slowly, yeah? Paradigm shift, speculative picks, okay? That means that they're telling you now there are some paradigm shifting, and of course, the speculative picks have probably happened. The S&P 500 bottomed on with 13% lower than 2020 bottom in 2009, okay? And it's 17 lower than 1988, and so forth, right? And LTCM crisis low is 2002, is 10% lower than the low in 1995. So it's 10% lower than the COVID low at 1,862. Okay, so in short, that's what I'm trying to say. It's telling you this, okay? The charts are telling you that things are getting worse and worse and worse, okay? Now, you look at the chart right now, right? This is the chart of 1920s to 1990s to year 2010. So these are the 3 times whereby this things actually what's happening right now. So you can see that every time is always the same trajectory whereby things will get very good. But once it hit the peak itself, right, and that is where the things start to change again. So that is the reason why I want to tell you this. There's some similar patterns right now in the market. And if this continue, right, we have to be very, very, very careful. Okay, very, very, very careful. So that's why Michael Burry, you know, has been always highly sought after. But you must understand, before you bet onto Michael Burry word, right, you must understand he's a long-term investor, and he don't mind waiting to get his so-called theory or even thesis right. Now, because short investor Michael Burry shared the third thing about the housing bubble and reflected about his GameStop wager. And interestingly, in 2005, he already sounded this, right? So this is something that they want to bring back again to see how worthy is trying this Michael Burry. So you can see now, right, back in 2015, the Nasdaq was trading at only 2,000, and it takes the market went down for a short moment, and then after it goes up again all the way, right? So by seeing this result, it tells you one thing, right? Michael Burry is not going to be a God. He can be wrong in terms of timing. But because he stayed on all the way, then of course he was rewarded later. So back then, I'm trying to tell you this, even though Michael Burry now is full of bearish signal, the market may take some time before it really runs its cycle, yeah? So traders, kindly take note of that. That's why I'm trying to share this with you. Okay, hold on, some PowerPoint issue moment. Okay, so this is something that is very interesting. This is actually a, wait, hold on. All right, apparently there is this thesis was being written by some university graduates, and they wrote that a century of evidence on trend following investing, okay? So what I'm trying to say is this. They believe that in the country stock market, if you have 1 month of rally, usually the second month is a buy. Interesting. He's also saying that, right, if this month is a short sell down market, then likely next month will still be a down market. Now, I don't know whether how many of you agree with this. I don't really back test on this, but she back test. The one who sent me this actually back test and said that, yeah, it looks like quite possible. So this one is not a bad idea. If you think about this on the long haul, if you just buy, even though market pull back, the most you have to do, don't trade. Eventually, the buying will come in again, you just buy on the food stuff, and things I think maybe be there. Yeah? So now you can see this is something that over the last 50 years is all right. If the market is down, you short the market, the next day usually you'll be profitable. But once the market turn around, it's all right. It's still much more profitable to be on the long side because people prefer to buy and market will just keep on climbing up as and when it is. Okay, so that is another thing to share with you. All right, so this is where it gets very interesting. Now, based on some other indicators, it shows that funds are actually coming out on Friday. And that's the reason why the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 were down. And of course, you look at this right now, right? It seems that for this Dow Jones, the whole thing is right. It's more than 200 million funds were actually wrongly channeled. Yeah. So with this ongoing right now, right, we have a very clear point that if let's say this continue, that means that the selling pressure is genuine. If it means that there could be more selling to come for the S&P 500, okay, or the Dow Jones in this case. All right, now this is where I'll tell you about how I feel unhappy with the way Federal Reserve run the ship. Okay, take a look. Now this is the mortgage-backed securities held by Federal Reserve. I want you to take a look on the dates right now. You can see very clearly that on the July 13, all right, the 1 week to July 13, the Federal Reserve did not change but increases the amount. This is crazy because on the 20th of July, a week later, they increase it by $5.8 billion. Yes, indeed, instead of reducing it, they're increasing it itself. I don't know what's the reason for, but that is very, very wrong. And of course, on later part itself, right? Before that, you can see it was down by 19.5. It's a good move back then, but the numbers are not equivalent to the number that was mentioned. All right. And of course, on July the 6th itself, right? They still continue to slaughter. They can go down on the market, but the numbers is nowhere near the $46.5 billion. So because of that, right? This is where the concern comes in. Federal Reserve is supposed to really do their job right. They're supposed to reduce by $30 billion per 3 months. Every 3 months, around $30 billion. Then after that, increase it by 60 billion. They say one right. But now already 2 months have passed. The numbers is nowhere near the figure that they write. So again, they're actually showing you that number one, Federal Reserve seemingly cannot be trusted. Number two is how someone bigger is telling Federal Reserve off. All right, so the thing is happening right now. So you can see what's happening. And of course, you can see this, why Federal Reserve doesn't want to reduce balance sheet. We all know that, we're all waiting, but there's no real answer. No real answer. So unless it's because they want to keep themselves fit. Yeah. So you can see across the board, right, there's a lot of news channel are all saying that how come the Federal Reserve cannot really do their reduction and what could happen, the repercussion and everything. So all these things is actually now written by someone else. My job is just to share this with you. If you want to know more, quickly Google it and watch it yourself, okay? Or read it yourself. All right, and then of course, Federal Reserve is not going to do much. Although they may be experimenting, but end of the day, it's still got a big portfolio to run it down. Okay, so all this information will be available for you if you actually do a Google search, or unless you are in the different paid group chat. Yeah. All right, so that is all for all the fundamental for you guys. Let's look at the chart right now. The bull goes moo, the bear goes grr, and the lemming go is different this time. Now, once again, guys, before we run into this, how many of you are bullish today? How many of you are bearish today? Are you bullish or are you bearish or are you sideways? Right, let me see how many of you are bullish, how many are bearish, how many are sideways at the moment right now. before we're going to get my things ready for today's this technical side. Okay, you can see right now, Corinne has turned bearish. I thought you were bullish last week. Chukit, I think you maintain your bearish. Anthony, maintain your bearish. Daniel also bearish. Susan bearish. Sharif said tomorrow then can decide. Fair enough. Jerry bearish. Well, Kifi also bearish. Okay, suddenly the whole camp turned bearish. Last week itself we have more bull, right? You see my point? That is very interesting. Last week on Friday MAO we realized that there were more bulls and bear. Then after that, you know what happened, right? Dramatically, this change over. This is why I say very interesting. Okay, let's look at the China market right now. Now, I'm seriously telling you this, guys. China is a sell. China is a sell. Now, why do I say that? It's a technical thing. Now, first of all, you can see there's a double top over here itself. That gives me the selling signal. But the main thing is this. It has lost the moving average MA30. And very clear, evidently, it has lost the MA200 also at the same time. Now, this is a very strong sell signal, okay? Very strong sell signal. So the thing is this, what is happening right now is this thing called Lan Wei Lo, all right? Meaning what's happening? That means that people who buy their condos, their units, their property, but they don't want to pay further because they notice that the developer may not be able to honor. And then these houses now are left in limbo because now without new money, they cannot continue the work, and the property developer don't have money now to continue the work. So become what? Either here or there. Then of course later on it's all right, they go into legal, and likely the company, the property company will go bankrupt, and then nothing can be done. Then after that, probably there'll be some society responsibility a bit here and there. But the main thing is this, the people who paid the 10%, 20%, 30% deposit, right, will all be gone. Yeah, something like that along the way. All right, I already hear many news from China. My friends telling me that, yeah, they put their money, invested amount of money into banks, and the bank themselves cannot pay back their saving. That's also scary, right? Imagine you put money in the bank for protection basis, and now the bank actually collapsed. And then because of that, now what happened? They're offering either another company, another stock, and hopefully this will become a new stock that will do very well, which is a bit of BS. The other one is that they actually tell you to go buy some property now that is at very cheap prices to take over. You facilitate more, then you get more money back. I think very silly. It's using bad money to go after good money. Anyway, okay, so why? Because of the MA30 and the MA200, I'm very bearish with China A50. And because of that itself, right, I strongly believe that we're going to come back, we're going to come down to here. What is here again? 13,491, okay? Now, I suspect that the China A50 will go down. Now, the current price right now is about, let's take a look. It's now at this current price now at 13,949, right? So which means from here to here itself, we need about another potentially 500 points. Yes, that means that I expect another 500 points drop on the China A50. All right, what's Hong Kong A50? Hong Kong 50, I'm not too sure, Sharif. You can actually do a Google search here. I think if not wrong, the top 50 companies. I don't know. I'm just guessing it. So if the China A50 goes down by 500 points, then naturally, without a doubt, Hong Kong market will also go down. All right, and of course, that will also dampen the entire mood across the rest of the Southeast Asia. So traders testing note of that. That's my view on China A50. Okay. All right, let's look at the US market right now to take a look. Now, today, US market at the moment now, I already tell you this for some of you. Today's the opening price and MLP is very clear. The opening price is below MLP. So which means that as long as the market stays below OP, it will be a sell today. But the only problem is this. Okay, hold on, yeah. Sell, yeah. The only problem is this MA30. MA30 is actually supporting the market. MA30 is supporting the market. So even there's downside, it'll be limited. KSI is green, although it's down tick, but it's still green. So I already tell you this, if you're a short seller today, take profit periodically. Every gantry take profit. So let's see whether it happen now, even though it's still early to trade, but just to show it to you. Okay, this is the this is the Dow Jones chart right now. You can see very clearly the market opened first in the morning, then it went down below P2, so it's a sell. It tries again, but doesn't stay above the OP. So CCYR is sold down again. So you can see right now, this side shows the boys are all looking to sell because the boys are selling mode. So if later on in the market fail to stay upright, there is a good chance the market may come down to here. And that will be 31,792. Okay, this is going to be very critical for traders. Watch out for this. If the Dow Jones really pulls down, then 31,792 will be the first support that you should consider to buy back your position. Okay, buy back your position. Okay, for those who are short sellers. Now, if you are not a short seller, you want to hold your position, then of course you can consider watching the market closer as it trades down towards 31,792. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to take note of. Okay, back to the day chart now. Okay, so for the Nasdaq today, oh, I didn't notice that Nasdaq today is also at Omega. Oh, no one noticed that. The Omega, that means that the opening price and the day high is actually the same. Let's take a look now to just double confirm with my indicator. So if I put the Nasdaq into the picture, I should see an Omega sign. Yes, indeed, an Omega sign is there. So today the Nasdaq is also an Omega sign. This is really telling you some story here. Okay, let's go back. Now, Nasdaq today, if it's going to be Omega day, then definitely the downside pressure will be there because it will be now actually below MLP, right? So it's below MLP and below OP and Omega day. Definitely today will be more towards the sell side, but the sell side itself will be held back by all the technical level, and that will be 12,311. Now it's not too far away. I believe the market will go there because the KSI now is green in color. All right, that means the selling pressure is still available in the market. So now the thing is this: if the Nasdaq pulls back, do take profit at this level now at 12,311. That will be a good time to book some profit for the Nasdaq. Okay, all right, take note of that. S&P 500. Now S&P 500 now, the KSI, everything tells you that the boys are buying and the market is having some resistance at 39.68. 39.68 is the what you call the level of the risk level here itself. And of course, if that is the case, if the market fail to stay above, then it's below MLP. There's a good chance it may come back down to test 38.69. So now it's at 39.58. That's not I told you, right? If the market comes down, it may test 38.60 plus. Now that's the reason why I'm talking about that. So watch out for this. If the market continue to go down, 38.69 will be the better, will be the target here. Okay, moment here. Okay. All right, next market itself will be the Hang Seng. I just said. Now Hang Seng today, you can see that Hang Seng this morning, it is the pivots are very close by between pivot 1 and pivot 2, 20,590 and 20,366. That means that the both of them is only 250 points that separate the two pivot. And very incredibly, I think the market touched both sides. Now, first of all, the MA30 is telling you the market is bearish by right already. And of course, by trading below MLP, it'll be selling. So below OP, below MLP, already a sell. KSI is red in color, confirm selling. So which means that today is better to sell than to buy. So if you look at the 5-minute chart for Hang Seng, right, let's see what happened today. You will actually understand why what's happening. Okay, so you can see that the market tries to go up. Initially, opening price is here. It tries to go up, hit KTR +2. But after that, you can see a double top over here, and it's still below MLP. All right, the thing is this, after that, what happened? The market really came off. Now, the thing is that because it came down only here, it did not really goes down to KTR -1, so our profit had not been done yet. Then after that, it did try to rebound, but you can see very clear it couldn't go higher, and then now it's coming back down again. Okay, so overall, what I'm trying to say is this: although the Hang Seng is supposed to be down today, but there are some strong resilient at the opening price. So most likely that traders need to take note of that. Okay, so if the market Hang Seng really go down later on, watch out for this 20,371. That will be the number to watch out for KTR -1. Okay, so for these traders who are looking to short the Hang Seng or short the early Hang Seng, 30,371 will be fine for you. Okay. Okay, let's look at the DAX right now. Okay, this is a DAX. Now, DAX yesterday on Friday did a very strong reversal. And then after that, it came back down all the way, break MLP and go lower. The only saving grace at the MA30 was there to support the market, and the KSI was green in color, also supported the market. So in short itself, right, what's happening today is that you have to watch the MA30 very closely. If the market breaks below MA30, then there could be some selling pressure coming in, okay? Only if it breaks MA30, okay? All right, so that one is DAX. We can do DAX forecast right now in the move on. Now, crude oil is trading lower. Now, crude oil, we do see there's some news ongoing over the weekend. There was some more people coming in to contribute the production of oil. So that's why crude oil price this morning goes down. Now, of course, on technical ground, both MA30 and MA200 is on top of you. That means that the market selling is definitely coming in. And because MLP is at 95.18, as you can see this morning, the high was 95.13. The thing is that if the market continue goes downwards, KSI is green. So we're going to see crude oil coming down further. If it breaks 92.80, we may see $91 traded. Okay, that means that if the market breaks $92.80, we may see the market going down to $91. Okay, so of course, crude oil price goes down. That means that inflation might be tipping, but of course, at the same time, that also means that the economy may not be doing as well as what everybody thinks it is. Okay. All right, so that is all the industries. Now let's look at the commodities. It's like gold and silver. Now, silver, I still stand on the same side of what I said last week. Silver needs to break below the usual MLP and then goes down all the way to here. All right, so which means that 1799 has to reach. Okay, for this silver to be a good level to consider for buying. Now, gold price itself, right, is still trying to move higher, but I don't think you'll move much anymore, especially with FOMC meeting coming in. So I believe that this gold now must stay above the MLP today at 1722. Now, MA30 is definitely pushing the market down, but MLP 1722 is holding the market up. This morning, the low was 1719, and then it recovered already, right? So my view is this: if there's going to be any upside, right, then the only thing is this, for now, it will be expecting to go higher. Now, when will be a good time to buy gold, Terrence, right? I will tell you this, in my opinion, not now. It will be at least in terms of price, let it come down to here, and that's 1641. That means that it'll be a good time to look out for gold when gold do come down below 1700 and go down to 1641 for me. All right. The lower, the better. All right. Of course, if you're going to buy for long-term positioning, don't care, don't bother, then maybe once you see gold price go down to 1680 level, then you guys want to consider to look at it at 1680. Okay. All right. Now to buy, I don't think it's the right time to buy. I think it's kind of dangerous. Okay, yes, the Dow has already completed Nansen. You have to just go back watch the replay on the Dow side. Yeah, I always start with Dow first. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Dow, gold and silver is done. Let's look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, I'm going to stand very firmly on this Bitcoin view. I already tell you my belief that Bitcoin is going to go down. Oh, Bitcoin has lost 22,000. Bitcoin I just lost 22,000. Right. I'm very confident to tell you that I believe that Bitcoin will go down. So now it's 21. Now it's already 21,800 level. I believe that Bitcoin will test MA30 today at 21,536. Now, if the market loses 21,536, then the next level you'll go with the support level, and that is 20,740. Okay, this is the 2740 level. And of course, if we continue to go down some more, then somehow, all right, 18,728. Okay, will be the next level for BMB extension. Yeah, but the question is this: people are asking, Kel, why would that be? Because if Federal Reserve want to really pull down all the dangerous asset class, right? Then one of them will be the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So you can see the KSI have been selling the last few days, and we're telling people this when the market is up movement. But if KSI is red in color, usually there will be selling pressure. Now, of course, until now, there's no blue bars, meaning that there are still pretty much buying people come and buy. So while probably the retailer or the people who think they are able to see this better, they are buying, but the boys are actually selling. Okay, the boys are actually selling. So again, I'm going to stick to my guns. I still think that the Bitcoin will go down to 18,000 level range. Okay, that means that there's a good chance that Bitcoin will go there. If you really want to buy, then I just advise you just go slow. Okay, if you want to short sell, you are not too late, but of course today the high is 23,000. Now it's 21,800. You're 1,200 points behind people. So this time you must take note of that. And last but not least is Ethereum. Ethereum today is doing reversal right now, and I told you guys about pivot 2. When the market is below OP, below pivot 2, no matter what I tell me, it's a sell. Although MA30 is supporting it, but the market broke below MLP, right? So below OP, below pivot 2 is a sell. And of course, the thing is this, this is happening right now. If Ethereum is going to come down and it brought MLP, right, that means that the next target will be here. So maybe at this junction here, maybe the traders may want to watch and go slow first. Okay, wait for it for a while. Now it's already a bit too high for you to chase, and KSI is still red. No blue bars, speaks for itself. All right, means there's a mixed signal in the market. Okay, before you go, it's all right. I want to show you something very important, very, very important. All right, just take a quick look itself. All right, quick one. Okay, now this is what I draw for everybody recently, and now it shows that this is the resistance that's ongoing right now. But because the KSI is green in color, I don't expect the market to react immediately. So do expect some resistance first. Now, what is more important is this one here itself. Let me just bring it to you. I don't know which one, where's my slide is. Okay, so you notice that what am I doing here on my cyan, why I drew a vertical line, right? Is that you know that, right? Whenever my indicator has a point whereby, it's not. Okay, you can take a look here where my KSI. Okay, wait a minute, something went wrong. Wait up. Okay, so when you actually combine, when you have KSI from green turns to red, then my KRW is red. That means a double red. So you can see when the KSI was green, then turns to red, and then KRW is red. You can see what happened in the market. Bang, come down, right? Okay, got the idea now? Okay, so same thing is out, right? When you see KSI from green turn to red and KRW is red, bang, market came down. Okay, So recently, the market also had green, turns to red, stay red. The market came down, but the downside was not really fantastic, but at least it was down. So what I'm trying to explain to you now is very critical. Is now the KSI is still green at the moment, or my KRW is red. So that means that at the moment now, there is no much selling at the moment is expected, because my indicators are all also not showing me any weakness, although there's some selling in the weightage. So only the day whereby your KSI or my KSI actually turn red in color, and my KRW is red, then the real selling will come. So at the moment now, the selling, not yet, no panic yet. Of course, if those are very adventurous, they want to sell right now because now it's a good price. That one is a price action base, yeah. But in terms of indicator at the moment now, we don't have this at this moment right now. And of course, I'm gonna give a quick forward now. Let you take a look. My Dow Jones also don't have this problem. Its KSI is still very green, though the KRW is red. And of course, the one that I'm watching very closely now is NASDAQ. NASDAQ KSI has turned red today, but still not confirmed yet. My KRW is still blue in color, so also not confirmed yet. Only if let's say the KSI stay red and the KRW also turn red, then yes, there will be some selling, and that may bring all the way back down to 11,300 again. Okay, so that will be all for today. All this information is brought to you free and live from The Voice Trading Academy. Now, do note once again, next month itself, I will do one preview. And after that, that will be the last preview for this year in terms of Premier intake. And I'm going to conduct my last Premier class for this year too. All right, more information will be coming out within the next 2 days. So sincerely hope that you guys are going to bring all your friends and let us make a super big show for this time round. All right, that will be all for today. Take care, guys. This is Cal signing off. Bye-bye.